welcome, namaste. Guys, this is the Leo reading for September 2017. So welcome everyone, it's lovely to see you all here again. Welcome Leos. And although this is the reading for September, I am doing this reading today on the 17th of August, and I have two Leo friends that share the same birthday, which is today. So happy birthday to all Leos who are actually watching this video during the birthday month of Leo. Guys, we're using a format with 3 different decks of cards. There is a little bit more shuffling involved, but I think it's well worth it. So with that in mind, just sit back, relax, and follow the pattern that I'm going through, and it will make sense to you as we work through the reading. Your first card for the month is Temperance, then Strength, which is lovely, and that's the Leo card. It's reversed, but I'm not doing reversals in this reading, so we will turn it the right way up. There's your Leo the Lion, which is nice. Then we have the 2 of Wands, and then we have the 4 of Cups. Interestingly, the 4 of Cups has been out a lot for these readings for September. These cards are the John Holland Psychic Tarot deck. They are a beautiful deck of cards that contain a lot of energy, especially through the infusion of colour as well. So let's see what 4 are arriving here. The 8 of Cups, the 7 of Wands, the 2 of Pentacles, and the 5 of Pentacles. And then we have a Fairy Oracle deck for your last cards. Just a bit of shuffling involved. And then we will be into your reading. Be yourself. Daughter, perfect timing, and healing, healed, and healer. So let me move this so we can see it clearly in our vision. So we have 2 major arcanas up here in the first line, the Temperance and the Strength card. You have 2 Pentacles, 2 Wands, and 2 Cups. So with that, let's start your reading. We are working from this way down. This is the first week, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, and so on. However, the energies are movable within the month. They're not set necessarily to any strict, rigid patterns, so they can flow in and out during the month. Remember, we have just come out of the eclipse season in August, so the biggest eclipse is actually on the 21st of August, and I'm doing this reading just before that eclipse anyhow. So a lot of you will find for the few weeks leading up to the eclipse, and then afterwards for months possibly, that you will have some resonant energy that kicks in, and often it's about addressing the unseen or the unspoken issues in our life, or things that have been hidden, and these will come to the surface and they will be addressed one way or another. So let's start off with your Temperance card, then the 8 of Cups, and then the Be Yourself. I think this very beginning of September is talking to you guys very much about recognizing your own personality and individuality and who you are and where you want to be. So if there have been any situations where you feel you've been doing things because of other people or for other people, but they're not bringing you satisfaction or happiness, or there's creating like a block in your own freedom or your own integrity values, it might be time to change direction, and it might be time to put your needs first for a change. Now, sometimes this can come about even if you've been like a parent for a long time, or a caregiver, or a nurturer or teacher. You often put the needs of everyone else first, and you forget to balance your own needs and wants. So it could be a little bit about thinking about yourself in this month of September coming. I think it's time for us all to remember, if we don't address our own self issues first, then we're not going to be as useful to other people, and we're not as connected and happy and satisfied and creative. So the Temperance card in particular It talks to us about balance of things in life and remembering how to gain that balance. And this is also telling you about enjoying playfulness and happiness and connection to your esoteric being, your spiritual essence, as well as balancing the physical world and the daily chores and the grind of, getting up every day and going to work and earning money to get enough money to pay the bills. So it says, balance it all out. Make sure you have enough of each in your life. It's also saying if things are out of balance in any area, you may need to draw back. And this is also if you are overindulging or over-pleasing or over-representing a certain area of your life, such as diet, too much food or chocolate or drinking or drugs, you need to curtail that back a bit as well. And often when we get into that place of where we focus on one thing and we become obsessive about it, like drinking or smoking or eating, it's because there is unbalance that we're not addressing. We've hidden it in the background. So as I say, with the eclipses coming, all of these things that are going to pop up tend to create unbalance because we have to face it. So that's another message of the Temperance card as well. So physical, emotional, spiritual, all of those things are addressed in that card. And then we come here to the Eight of Cups. And traditionally in the tarot decks, this is often seen as a man who, like this card, is turning his back on something and heading off in a new direction. And he feels like he's left behind something that he's loved, and often it's about relationships. So leaving someone behind or something behind, or feeling as though you've lost something along those lines. And you can feel isolated. And you can feel like, either my family aren't around me, or I can't talk to my best friends at the moment because they're not available, or I feel disconnected from them for whatever reason. So when we have emotional withdrawal, it does give us the opportunity once again to think about balancing our life. Like when you have the time to spend time alone and do a little bit of meditation, which this guy is actually doing, he can focus on what are the values that are not being met around these situations that are creating him feeling like he's alone. Is it because the other people aren't supportive or nurturing or didn't want to spend time with you? Or is it because you felt that you no longer had the same interests as them, or that you weren't being honoured or respected? And those are the things that help us to make clear decisions about the way forward and in selecting new friendships and relationships. And again, it comes back to this main message down the bottom that is telling you to be yourself. If there are any relationships in your life that haven't balanced or been balanced or brought harmony or supported or nurtured you, then think twice about them. You can either choose to communicate with the other people or person and tell them how you feel, or tell them what your desires are and what your needs are. And that's a very valid way of addressing situations. Communication is always key. This card here says, this situation calls for you to be your authentic self, which is the basis for your personal power. And it's interesting that as we read that card, we are then going to move up to this card, which is strength, meaning personal power. So they're telling you in the month of September, you are either going to reignite it, or you are going to get an extra input of like Leo lion energy. So I think that's really positive for you. We'll move up to this card and we see the strength with this beautiful lion and this beautiful damsel holding him. So this is all about personal strength. It's about emotional ability to hold your strength. And again, if we've ever been knocked down or bullied or been abused in any form of relationships, and this can be work relationships, it can be a boss, it can be friends, it can be neighbours, it can be church people, or at school, or a network of mothers, who look down on the way that you're parenting or your skills or your family. If anyone is looking down on you and trying to take your power from you, it can be quite daunting to regain it. It is very true, and it does exist, that people do drain your energy. And the more negative their thoughts and actions are, the more it drains you. So there are ways to put in place protection so that can't happen. And some of the most important protection essences are being yourself and having your personal power in strength, and also having like healing around negative or psychic draining issues. So you're going to regain some strength, and you're going to learn how to do that. And physically is a good way as well, and that's through the solar plexus, the stomach area. It can be very good to do sit-ups, crunchies, walking. All of that strengthens that part of our body through the stomach, which helps create our gut strength. And our gut strength is where all our ideas and all our trust and who to trust concepts come from. So it's kind of like it's our connection to our psychic ability to know innately what is right, what is wrong, and who is good for us. You know, here's another one about strength. Stand your ground. So that's really empowering. It's saying don't give up. If anyone is trying to curtail anything, just stand up and be you. I love the way they're connected on the diagonal, and the colours really match. So there's a whole synergy here of strength through this kind of diagonal part of the month. That card, the Seven of Wands, often represents the fact that you have been going along and either in one part of your life or another, and sometimes this can be work related, where you perhaps have been jostling ideas or personalities or clashes around you, and it's saying don't give up. You know, obviously be appropriate and use the appropriate methods and skills and communication, but you're finally going to get towards your goal of achieving it, of being listened to, of being understood, of being appreciated. That's what this card is all about. This one down here, daughter, the answer to your question involves your daughter. Well, for some of you, when I mentioned earlier about parenting, some of you might have issues around a parent-daughter relationship. It might be that you are protecting your daughter, especially if they're youngsters, or even if they're in their teens or 30s, you might be nurturing them one way or another. And it's like you might be the backbone of the strength that they are seeking, that they are needing. So you'll be rewarded for that. For some of you, this could involve, as I say, a younger daughter who is part of a puzzle around perhaps you having felt that you've lost your strength, or you don't feel as though you're involved enough in like a community project or like a mother-teacher parenting thing. So remember to logically start from the physical and work through your emotional and your spiritual strength and conglomerate them all into a package and a parcel, and you will come through it and you will shine and you will start to be like that proud lion in all of your aspects of life. Some of you, the daughter card could literally represent possibly a new daughter coming onto the scene. This could be through new marriages or extended family members or adoption or even pregnancy. So there's also that possibility of a message there. It could be that a daughter may also be announcing a pregnancy. So lots of different opportunities for this card. And remember too that a lot of us are daughters. So the card, although it has sort of specifics at the bottom of it, it can broaden its horizon a long way. So it could be that as a daughter you have felt some sort of, like lack of strength. So perhaps there have been some family issues around that you are addressing, and that they will fuel themselves out again, and you will be able to regain a foothold, like a place back in the area of being right or honoured or accepted or approved. It's something along those lines. So we come next to the Two of Wands up here, and he's kind of looking back in time a little bit, possibly back a couple of months in the year, and he often has the feeling of looking at his career or creative prospects in life. So it doesn't have to be career, but it's the things that you're passionate about and where you get your inspiration. Now the twos often refer to balance again. So we've had the balance over here and we're having balance here again. The Two of Wands is suggesting that you're contemplating making changes or looking further afield to ascertain what direction you want to take your creative realm of life, including career if you're working. This can often mean thinking about, you might be taking on new studies or altering the direction of your career or uplifting more responsibility, or you may be thinking of applying for a promotion. It's all of these sort of things. It could be that you are seeking to find a new idea for writing a book or printing, music or becoming published. Those are also really good emotions or energies that are often connected with this card. Oh wow, and I hadn't noticed that. We then have the 2 underneath it as well, and it's the 2 of Pentacles. So the 2 twos in a row have some sort of extra meaning for you. It's possibly referring to making sure you have balance, but it could also be referring to a concept of 2 ideas coming to you, 2 possibilities, 2 directions. This one here says movement, choices and decisions. It definitely makes me feel that you have got something going on in this creative sector that you are contemplating, do I do A or B? Do I want this or that? Or conceptually wise, should I pluck this one out and turn it into reality, or this one over here, or can I merge them together? So it's a good card, the 2 of Pentacles. It often tells us that there is movement, and it's interesting in the Tarot Normal Rider-Waite deck, it can give me the feeling of applying for jobs overseas or across water. So some of you may be contemplating applications for jobs in areas where you currently aren't living. Possibly within your country, but possibly within another country as well. And quite often these applications can get you to the position of an interview and possibly even be an offer of a job. So keep that in mind. Oh wow. It's funny, I don't look at all the cards until we start going through the reading, and then you get given the messages as well. But this one says perfect timing. This is the right time for you to move forward. So that is an amazing positive column of energy here for you guys. It's amplified the message because of the 2 cards replicating each other, or the number 2s, and the very bottom message is perfect timing. So great positivity, great determination, and great synergistic energy coming your way. So think upon this as being, it's like the universe is delivering it. Even though they're not major arcana cards, there feels to be some sort of serendipity in this, some sort of timing event that was bound to happen. So go for it and keep your eyes out for it, and when you feel it coming in the month, really connect with it and push yourself as hard as you can to make it happen. We come to here, the last one, and we see a slightly different feeling than these 3 here. The 4 of Cups, the 5 of Pentacles, and healing, healed, and healer. This row here has more of a subdued effect. The 4 of Cups is often about being given an offer, and it's as if you're going to go, actually no, not good enough, not what I wanted, not what I had anticipated. It reminds us to broaden our horizons, think outside the box, listen to things that are coming our way, and know that sometimes an offer might be better for us than we first perceive it to be, and to look further. It also does tell us sometimes that the grass isn't always greener on the other side. So again, that's a card of balance, balancing up the status quo versus change, because sometimes we push ourselves too far and sometimes the change isn't quite ready. So you have got a little bit of duplicity in the meaning of the cards and the energy coming, which comes back to the number 2 again. So coming back further down here, we see the 5, which is financial and material changes. Now the 5 of Pentacles traditionally is a little bit of a gloomy card, and not that many readers really enjoy it either. So let's address that part of it first. It can be suggestive of money coming and going and being a little bit lean. And interestingly enough, it's right next to this card. And this card also traditionally has a juggler juggling money, also suggesting that you need to maintain balance with your money and your finances. So you have got that message a little bit twice in the month. Again, the number 2, right next to each other. So they are suggesting to you, just keep money aside for the bigger things. If there might be expenditures, unexpected bills, don't go overspending. And if you are making a big purchase, be careful that you have organised your finance correctly, that you know what your expenditure is going to be. So map it out forward and do a good budget on any expenditures coming your way for the month. The other thing about the 5 of Pentacles, it can often mean that you literally feel blah, like, ugh, I've got the flu, a cold, often sore throat, tonsillitis, that type of thing could be coming for some of you. And if it is, you need to rest. You actually do need to go to bed, wrap up well, take the vitamins, the lemon drinks, the honey, nurture yourself. That's what this card often means, actually. Spend some time nurturing yourself and your finances. It can also, interestingly enough, represent the parting of a way of a relationship, and often a female and male relationship. And often I think it's the male who is left pondering and going, wow, I didn't see that coming. So think about that. Those are some of the meanings for the card. But the good news about it is it's very short term. It's the middle of the numbering system in the card deck. So number 5 is neither here nor there. It's not totally a major thing. It can just be that it's occurring, it's an event. That's why I say go to bed and nurture yourself, work through it. And at the other side, you come out healed. So there is some healing energy coming to you, and there is something that is going to be healed. It also might be that some of you really feel like you want to uplift a healing, which is very nurturing. It's very cathartic. It can be either physical healing or personal, emotional or spiritual. Any of those are very, very good for you. And for some of you, it may be pushing you into becoming a healer as well. So this card can represent any of those energies, all of which are very beautiful and very uplifting and very supportive. So I think you have a lot of strength within the reading. You have things that you are learning to balance, or you are gaining direction or headway with in situations and people and relationships. And there does seem to be quite a swing here going on for some sort of directive change around your creative sphere, and possibly for a lot of you that's your working sphere. And that perfect timing card really does stand out there and speak volumes. So there we are, Leos. I trust you have enjoyed that reading, and that you have a wonderful month ahead for September, and imbue all the energies coming your way. Learn from them, grow from them, and just embellish them and get into it. Remember to have some fun as well and be yourself. So thank you for listening, liking and subbing and leaving your comments. I love reading them all. And thank you to all your efforts as being my followers on the channel. It's helped push me to the number 19 spot in the top psychics in the world. So that is a real achievement as well. One to be proud of and to celebrate. So thanks again, guys. Have a wonderful month ahead. Much love. Namaste.